You need standards, not motivation. Have you ever noticed how motivated you feel one day? Unstoppable and full of energy, and then the very next day you can't even bring yourself to start? What if the real reason you keep falling off track isn't laziness or lack of motivation, but something far more important that no one ever taught you? Motivation is frequently cited as the essential component of success in contemporary life. People are frequently taught that they can accomplish their goals if they only simply stay motivated. From motivational speeches and social media quotations to self-help books and videos, motivation is described as a strong internal drive that inspires people to put in more effort, have bigger dreams, never give up. Even so, many people find it difficult to sustain their improvement over time. They start undertakings with great enthusiasm, but don't finish them. Give up on objectives when things get tough and keep waiting for inspiration to come back. This persistent issue has given rise to a compelling alternative theory. Standards, not motivation, are what you need. According to this theory, long-term success is based on unambiguous, consistent rules that direct behavior independent of emotions, rather than on emotional thrill. By its very nature, motivation is transient and emotional. It frequently results from fear, inspiration, excitement, or a desire for reward. In the short term, motivation can be very effective, but it is also erratic. People don't always feel motivated, enthusiastic, or ready to work when they wake up. Motivation can be rapidly depleted by stress, exhaustion, disappointment, and everyday difficulties. Productivity drastically changes when motivation takes center stage. People perform well on days when they have a lot of energy, but they do very little on days when they don't. Long-term objectives that call for consistent effort, including preserving good health, establishing a profession, learning a skill, or forming solid personal habits, are challenging to accomplish because of this inconsistency. The tendency to wait for the right feeling before acting is one of the main issues with relying solely on motivation. Many people put off crucial tasks because they lack motivation, confidence, or readiness. They promise themselves that they will work on their goals when they are passionate, study when they are focused, or begin exercising when they are motivated. Sadly, the ideal emotional condition seldom materializes. Emotional energy naturally fluctuates since life is unpredictable. Because of this, waiting for inspiration frequently turns into a justification for doing nothing. This reinforces the idea that achievement is challenging or unachievable over time by causing anger, guilt, and self-doubt. On the other hand, standards provide a whole different strategy. A standard is an unchangeable guideline or expectation that directs conduct. Regardless of how you feel, it establishes what you do, how you do it, and when you do it. Standards are founded on dedication and identity rather than inspiration or mood. I will exercise when I feel motivated, for instance, is an example of a motivation-based strategy. It's common to say things like, I work out for 30 minutes every morning at 6 a.m. The second declaration substitutes clarity and organization for emotive discussion. Instead of being voluntary, the activity becomes automated. The elimination of internal negotiation is one of standards' most significant benefits. When people rely on motivation, they ask themselves, should I do this today? All the time. Am I exhausted? May I just skip this once? These mental discussions drain energy and make giving up more likely. This decision-making process is eliminated by standards. When a norm is established, the question becomes how you will follow through rather than if you would act. This improves consistency and lessens mental weariness, making it simpler to maintain effort over time. Identity and standards are closely related. Outcomes like weight loss, financial gain, or recognition are the main focus of motivation. Standards center on your identity and lifestyle. Adopting standards causes you to start seeing yourself in a different light. You think, I am a disciplined person, rather than, I am trying to become disciplined. Behavior that is consistent with identity feels essential and natural, which makes this change potent. Individuals are more likely to behave in ways that support their perception of themselves. People develop an identity based on dependability, self-respect, and consistency by establishing and upholding norms. The establishment of structure and predictability is another important advantage of standards. Routine and order are essential to human survival. particularly in complicated and challenging circumstances. Standards offer a structure that directs day-to-day conduct without necessitating continuous emotional input. Professionals who maintain high performance, for instance, frequently rely more on rigid routines and standards than on incentive. Whether they are feeling enthusiastic or worn out, athletes train according to their program. Regardless of inspiration, writers write at set times. Because consistency rather than emotion determines lives and results, professionals like doctors, teachers, and engineers adhere to professional norms. Motivation is useful but not necessary in these situations. Standards are what guarantee dependability. Standards are strong, but they shouldn't be mistaken with self-punishment or rigidity. In extraordinary situations like illness, emergency, or real restrictions, healthy standards allow for flexibility. Standards are meant to promote development and well-being, not to cause needless pain. Standards, when used properly, provide structure without oppression and discipline without cruelty. They are not chains, they are guides. Motivation is still important in some circumstances. Initiating new endeavors, discovering new passions, or overcoming obstacles can all benefit from motivation. It can inspire and give emotional vitality. Motivation, however, needs to be viewed as an addition rather than the cornerstone. When motivation wanes, standards are what keep people moving. In this way, standards are the engine that keeps everything going, while motivation is like a spark. This theory is supported by psychological studies on self-regulation. Clear guidelines, progress tracking, and impulse control are all necessary for successful behavior modification. Seldom is motivation enough to bring about long-lasting change. Long-term success usually depends more on routines, expectations, and systems than on emotional motivation. This explains why success in almost every sector depends so heavily on routines, habits, and professional standards. The distinction between standards and motivation is evident in daily life. While a student who studies at the same time every day makes steady progress, a student who studies only when inspired may perform inconsistently. While someone who follows a regular training program maintains health over years, someone who just works out when inspired may struggle with fitness. While a professional who adheres to set work norms develops a solid career, one who works only when feeling productive risks falling behind. Because standards foster consistency, they exceed motivation in every situation. By replacing emotional dependence with clear expectations, individuals can build habits, confidence, and success that endure even on the hardest days. Ultimately, standards are not about forcing yourself to work harder. They're about deciding who you are and living in alignment with that decision every single day. If this video helped you see discipline in a new way, make sure to subscribe for more content that actually changes how you think and live.